Kevin, we're gonna do the.
Hi guys, welcome to another evening. I know you had a shocker at the beginning, but don't you worry. Everything is gonna be all right. Everything's gonna be all right. Um,
Everything is gonna be alright.
welcome to another Candler Creative. And I know you guys don't usually see my face, but that's because tonight it's all about Dan. Dan the man, Dan who started Candler Creative, the community. And we're here to talk and we're here to find out who Dan is. But without further ado, I'm going to keep it to schedule as we normally do, and we're going to introduce the Flames. So let me get you guys right in as I say hi, guys.
Yo, yo, yo.
Uh, So as normal, for those of you who don't know, we're gonna do some introductions. So one by one, guys, just say your name, who you are, and what's up. You don't have to literally say what's up, but I like that. Say what's up. So let's start with Chris.
I feel like I'm always the first one here. What's up, people? I am Christopher Barton. I am going to nail this one this time. I am I've already forgotten.
Creative entrepreneur.
What's creative entrepreneur? I will get it next time. I'm a creative entrepreneur, as we all are in different areas. Musical theater is the main game, but acting and everything to do with thespianism is also included. So yeah.
What is espionism?
No, did I say that wrong? Thespianism.
Thespian. Well, okay, well, whatever that word you just said, what is that?
So a thespian is like someone who's very theatrical, someone who's an entertainer.
Because you said it like
of sorts.
You said it like 2 or 3 times now. And each week I've been like, I have no idea what the hell that means.
No, yeah, I don't.
We have a slight freeze.
No, thespianism is a word.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds like a thespian being a spy.
Yeah, but thespianism, I'm not sure if that's 100% a word. But we're going to use it. So.
Well, that being said, on all the thespianisms, we're gonna move on to number 2, Balthazar.
I'm not a spy. I'm not a thespian. I mean, maybe I am. I don't know. And I'm not allowed to say. It's better if I confuse you a bit. Hello, I'm Balthazar Oliva. I am an Argentinian actor, singer-songwriter that likes martial arts. Let's keep it like that. It could be way more complicated. But...
Fantastic.
Short and snappy.
And for those of you guys who've forgotten, I am Kelvin Hewlett. I'm also in the acting business, doing that full time now as an essay, background artist, dabbling on YouTube. So check out my YouTube channel. All you gotta do is type in Kelvin Hewlett. You can't miss me. So I'm a YouTube guy now, and I am taking over for 2023. So, but we're not here to talk about me. We're here to talk about the man who started. We're here to talk about Dan the man who started Candler Creative. And I want to leave it to you, Dan, to let us know more about who you are. So, as you would say, Dan, who are you?
do I say it exactly like that as well? Who are you? No, that's cool, man. Yo, guys. That feels like a some quote, yeah. But yo, I'm Dan Candler. I guess I'm like a creative entrepreneur as well, same as you, Chris.
How are you?
But I mainly dabble in like photography, and I do a lot of essay work now. But yeah, that was awesome. That was an awesome intro, Kelvin. It was cool to see. It was cool to see your intro. I'm like, because that's pretty much how you do it on your streams. So it's like, yeah. So it's cool to have you started off. But yeah, cool guys. So I guess I've been a little bit nervous, if I'm completely honest, with this, because I've been getting used to being the person just asking the questions and being that guy. Oh yeah, cool.
Spotlight.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess with me, like I was trying to think. I think why I was nervous because I've been trying to think how to explain my life in. I mean, you guys know 45 minutes. I mean, you guys have done great, but my life has been in so many different places. And I think that's why it's got to me. Well, not so many different places, but so many different um, different journeys, I think. And I think that's kind of why I've kind of got to where I am with like building, I guess, this community and stuff. Because I want to be able to unleash all of my creative freedom and all of my everything about me. And I think we can all do that. But anyway, I guess I should probably start from like, I guess, the beginning.
Yes, I'd like to know exactly, like, where does Dan come from? Like, where did you grow up, and how does where you've come from mold you into where you are today? Because to me, you're a
Yeah,
very well-spoken guy. You're very intellectual, very giving. So I just want to know where does all this come from? So yeah, so start from the beginning.
yeah, cool, man. I think, yeah, and like I was saying, I've been thinking about this, and I think I have two parallels to my life that has really defined me as an individual. And one of them being kind of creativity and mental health. Like when I was um, like when I was growing up, I had like an awesome child. I did have an awesome childhood. Like, you know, my mom, well, like my mom and dad split up when I was very young. They split up, I think, when I was maybe about maybe 5 or 6. I can't really remember. Um, but I was really lucky in the sense they were still connected as individuals. You know, they kind of they stayed friends, and you know, there was a long period of kind of figuring all of that out. But I was really lucky in a sense. You know, like my mum is a creative. My mum is an artist, and um, she, you know, when we were back, like when we were younger, she would, like, you'd always see her like doing her paintings and different kind of creative outlooks in the art world and going from this to that.
Mm,
And I guess that's why now looking back, I guess that had an effect on my life and my direction. But
mm,
yeah, like I had a really good childhood, but I think mental health played a big part, I think, in my childhood, because I went as a child, I was quite I don't know what the word is, but maybe slightly uncontrollable,
mm,
and I was quite angry at times. I was a very angry, just, I don't know. I think when I was going into from primary school to secondary school, it was a time where dyslexia and that kind of stuff wasn't really, like, it was kind of like the just getting into the phase of understanding what that kind of was. And as I was transitioning to secondary school, they I did this whole like dyslexia testing, and it was quite a new thing. And they basically said, they obviously like diagnosed me with dyslexia, and it made a lot of sense in some respects, because in primary school and going into secondary school, I was just quite a rebellious child, like like anything academic. I would just couldn't do it. Reading for like 5, 10 minutes was just a mission for me. It was just ridiculous.
wow.
So, so I think had that, and not fully understanding, you know, what dyslexia was, and just being known as this kid who was the class clown, and the you know the mischievous one, and just like the rebel, and just doesn't do his work, and is just like, oh, we'll just, you know, whatever. I think that played a big effect on me, because I couldn't really understand what I wanted to do and where I wanted
Mm,
to be. So I think it was this constant journey of me trying to figure out that side of things. So that's, I think, you know, that is like kind of like the mental health side of things, with the anger and the just the
mm,
confusion within my brain, which I think even to this day, my mission, you know, my mission has been to understand my reality, and just be fully aware of everything about me, so I
mm,
can control that side of things, because it wasn't, you know, it wasn't pretty at times when I was
mm,
yeah, like yeah, it was, yeah, I'd get really quite angry, and I just, yeah, I think now I try not to go towards that.
You
But
seem
I
more
think,
chilled now. You seem very, very chilled and relaxed and got your head
yeah,
all together.
yeah, man, yeah. It took a lot. Like when so going through school and going through primary and going through school throughout my whole life, well, through well, different stages. It would pretty much be every like 6 weeks or something. I would have therapy to kind of understand this reality I was living. And I had that for a very long time. And it wasn't until and again it's, you know, when Kelvin, you were saying about that one moment that changes you.
Mm.
Um, I think for me, the one moment that changed me was this one therapist. I can't remember their name specifically, but it was in school. And she was talking about, I think she must have been quite spiritual because she was talking about energy and auras. And she said to me, Dan, like your aura now and since you were a child, because you haven't come to terms with situations that have happened in your life as a child and stuff, you have a negative energy. You have a negative aura around you. So you're like a magnet. And she was doing this. I remember it very vividly. She was like, all you're doing is just getting in that you are negative and you're a magnet bringing more negativity in. So you need to flip that switch and change it to a positive message. So everything that you do, just think of it positively. And ever since that moment, I've tried to I've tried to change my mentality in every single situation into a into a positive mindset towards it. Yes, we can go through bad situations, and we can have bad things happen to us, but what is the positive within that? Is it, are you learning a lesson? Are you doing this? Are you know what I mean? There is a positive within
Mm,
every single
mm.
negative, and that's what I learn now. And it doesn't matter how negative or how aggressively negative that is, there is a positive on the other side of it.
How
Yeah.
old were you at this time? What are we looking at? You said
I would
secondary school this was? So
Yeah, I would probably say like when do you finish secondary school? Like 16, right? So I was
16.
probably, yeah,
Well, depends on the
I'd say I was
country.
probably like
Because
15. What's that?
in Argentina it's 18.
Yeah, same, same.
But is it, oh yeah, but do you go straight, because so over here it's school and then you can do sixth form, which is another 2 years, or you can go to college.
Yeah, it was in my days growing up, it was 18. I
Mm,
don't know if it's changed. It might have changed now, but I'm like Chris and
mm,
Baltazar. You had to be much older because 16, I still don't see it as an age where you're ready to go
mm.
into the world and decide whether I want to
Well,
go to college or
no, because
Well,
I
work.
can't,
neither 18, but
because
Yeah.
I don't know whether it is now, because when I was in school, it's not that you leave at 16.
Mm.
You could either go to sixth form or you can go to college. So you still have to stay in education, but you can choose a path, I guess.
Yeah, but
So
18 was the age where we would normally go to college, not 16.
I see.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah, yeah.
so because I was talking to Chris about this the other
I
day. We went to
still find this fascinating. Yeah,
so
so
what I mean by college, it's a different
Mm.
level. So I would go
Uh,
to a BTech college. So it's like level six. It's a level 3 diploma.
so wait,
okay.
wait, wait, wait. College is not university.
so in the British
No.
system, college and university aren't the same thing apparently.
Oh,
Whereas I
Yeah.
really?
think in our systems we've been, and like I went to a very American system. You guys,
Mm.
I think it was similar, but you're taught, you go through junior schooling and then you go to college or university, and they're both
Yes.
sort of associated as the same thing. But I think Dan was telling me yesterday or the other day that yeah, you finish at like 16 and then you go to college,
Mm-hmm,
which is
mm-hmm.
kind of like, I don't know, Dan, is that you have to pick a specific field for college and then
Yes.
you go to university
It's
if
like
you want.
yeah. So I mean, because I was going to get onto that, but like say with me, I took musical theatre. So, but I mean, I'll get onto that in a second onto my when I talk
But,
about my
Okay,
creative
okay.
but was
journey.
that for college or university though?
College after
College,
school, yeah.
okay.
But I
Mm-hmm.
realized about the positive mindset when I was about 14, 15, I'd say, when I was in school, because I was talking to a school counselor.
Mm. It's a good age.
Um, yeah, and it just really transformed my perspective. I mean, I still had a lot of work to do, but I think that yeah, because I'd done so much therapy and I got to that point, it got me on the way to start understanding who I really was and I guess I don't know, just the reality around me. And So yeah, and so that's like kind of like my, I guess my mental health journey. I'm still going through stuff. I still have anxieties and depressions, but being able to be aware, which is what I've trained, I guess, my whole life for, my whole life doing, is I can be aware now of it and try and make subtle changes and try and create a more positive outlook on the situations. But I think with my creative journey, so that was my kind of like, I guess my mental health journey. My creative journey, I think my creative journey kind of started when I was like 10. When I was 10 years old, and this kind of shows you what kind of like my mom and like what we were like. So my mum took me to Glastonbury when I was 10.
To what,
So
sorry?
me and my sister to the festival Glastonbury.
Okay, yeah.
When I was 10, because I think she wanted to go, and I don't know, just and bring us just for like the music and stuff. Because my mom's quite like hippie, like she's an awesome free spirit. And I think that's where I kind of get it from.
Is it very kid friendly though? I thought it was a very like Coachella type thing.
Now it is. Yeah. But that when I was 10, it was a long time ago. But I can't think of the month. But it
Keep
was a
all
lot
the
more
dark secrets to yourself.
What happens at
stays at the festival.
But it was a lot more chilled back then. I remember there being a lot more space and a lot less people. But I remember, so I went to Glastonbury, and I remember there being a circus tent. And I remember going to this circus tent, and I think maybe I latched onto this circus tent because it was something bright and colourful, and I was just like, oh my God. But then as soon as I picked up a Diablo, if anyone knows what a Diablo is.
Oh man, I used to be on that shit a lot. We used to call it Diavolo. These like the Italian.
Yes.
Isn't Diablo devil?
No idea. This sounds like some.
It's a thing with the sticks, and you just like make it go fast and fast and fast, and then you just throw it and you catch it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I picked that up and I just got it straight away, and I think I bought one, and then I think within maybe a year I bought like another circus trick, and then I bought like a unicycle. And for a good amount of time, from the age of 10, I mean, up until now, I'm still doing circus stuff. But I was doing circus. I was doing loads of different circus stuff for quite a while, and I think I latched onto it because of when I said earlier about my, the academic side and all of this. It was something that was I could do something, and actually I was actually good at it, and I could physically show people that I was good at something. And you know what I mean? Because I think maybe in the back of my head it was like, I didn't feel like I was very good at anything, because I just get shut down by the teachers. I get told that I'm not good at this, I can't read, I can't do this. So it's like, okay, well, I must be just shit. So I think when I picked this up and I was able to physically do something and be quite good at it, and then I would do unicycle and I was good at it, and then I would do something, I would like do juggling, and then I would do fire breathing, and then circus, and then staff, and I was good at all these different things. And I think that led me on a path to kind of to enjoying performance and like performing. So I think I was like I was 13. So when I was 13, I joined a thing called Stagecoach, which is like a performing arts thing. And I joined because I just liked this idea of performing. I was performing the circus stuff to my mom and to different people in school, and like all this different stuff every now and again. Go to the park and show it off and stuff. And I think maybe I just enjoyed the attention. So I think I carried on with it. And I did Stagecoach. So I did a couple of shows there and all this, and then someone at Stagecoach told me about college, about like doing a musical theatre course instead of going to sixth form. Someone at Stagecoach, Melissa, her name was. She was the principal. Shout out Melissa, dope individual. But I think and she told me about it, and I thought, okay, right. So when I was finishing school in year 11, I thought, okay, right, what can I do that means I don't have to write anything. What can I do that is just so not academic? Cool, I'm going to do musical theatre. Because I did performing arts in school and stuff, and I thought, like, this is the only direction I can see myself doing. I don't really want to be a plumber. I don't really want to go down electrics and like kind of that kind of stuff. I mean, I did carpentry in school. Like it was like an outreach thing for like, because I did a lot of because I was in learning support for quite a bit of my school. They had a thing where you could go once a week to do like another activity, like another skill. So I did carpentry just because it was just, for me, it was just an idea to get out of school. But that's what caught me onto the idea of college. And then someone at Stagecoach said about something going outside of school, like to do something like that. So yeah, I left school, and it was almost like I just left that life behind me. I kind of shut that off and then just went, cool, right, what's the next chapter? And then it was like I was in college, I was loving life in college and doing musical theatre stuff, and we were doing performances, and then I didn't really know what to do after that. And then again, someone in college was like, oh, yo, like, you do know you can, after this, you can audition for this stage school. You know, this where you can specialize in dance and musical theatre. I was like, cool. I mean, I guess I'm doing here. I might as well go to the next stage and see what happens. So yeah, it was. So then I did the 2 years of that, and then I went to audition for different stage schools, and I was just kind of like myself, I guess, kind of like what you were describing, Kelvin and Chris, about just going. I kind of just went. And just kind of, I was like, all right, cool. Like, I was really nervous and had a lot of anxiety within me, but I kind of went going like, cool, I don't really know what this is about, so I guess I'll just try. And then yeah, I got into quite a few different schools. I got a few scholarships and a few, I don't know if you guys know it, but it's called like a Dada.
Yes.
Yeah. So I got like a Dada at a couple of places, and
Good old Dada.
Originally I was a good old Dada. But originally I was going to go to a place in London. I wanted to go to this place in London. It's like one of the most established dance performing arts colleges in the country, Erdang.
Erdang, yes.
Yeah. And I wanted to go there. It was my top choice. It was either that one or it was Bodywork, which is a school in Cambridge.
This was specifically for dance, right?
So it was for performing arts, yeah. But Erdang specialised in kind of dance and stuff. And it looks, back then it looked like Bodywork was more performing arts, musical theatre based. And I didn't really know the direction I fully wanted to go. I think it was more acting and stuff, and I wanted to experience I wanted to experience loads of different things. But yeah, I just had my heart set on Erdang because I was like, oh, that's the best. I need to be in there. But you know, I am a true believer that, well, I now realise I'm a true believer of the universe provides what we are meant to, the direction we're meant to go on, and we couldn't afford Bodywork. I mean, sorry, we couldn't afford Erdang. So our next choice was Bodywork. So I went to Cambridge and I had an awesome time. I kind of like went there and just lived my life on the first year. I kind of just had no idea what was going on. I was getting like pretty messed up every weekend and like just living life. But yeah, like I went into there with the idea of becoming more of like an actor, possibly musical theatre, because that's all I knew.
Yeah.
And then in second year of that college, you can then pick whether you can go musical theatre or you can go dance. And throughout that year, I'd kind of like looked more. I'd done a little bit more dance-based stuff, and I quite enjoyed it. I think maybe because it was the expression, it was the physical act and the creativity within it. I just loved moving. So I nearly went musical theatre, but I went onto the direction of dance, and I naturally became quite flexible and could like pick up stuff, I guess, and became quite contemporary.
Oh wow.
So yeah, like I started kind of doing that. So that's what I mean. Like I've gone through all these different kind of creative pathways, and even like in between all these different kind of, you know, from college to college, from the circus, I've done loads of different kind of different skill sets, I guess. Like I did kickboxing for a while. I did like magic tricks, and and that's why I started with the whole mental health side of things, because and that's why I say that I've been just constantly on a mission to figure out my reality, because I think that all of that journey of doing all the, not knowing who I really was in school and just having this chaotic kind of mindset, and then going into these different kind of creative outlooks and kind of really honing in on that, and then trying all these different things, has really got me to building this community of like different,
Do you feel as though your mind is chaotic because it goes into different directions? You have a lot of interest in so many different things. So you've always felt as though, because the notion is you must specify on one thing. That's how life sort of works, and that's how you build and create an income, and you're able to survive. But when you have all these multiple things, do you feel like this has sort of set you back a little bit? Because you mentioned it being chaos. I don't really see it as chaos so much, but I understand your struggle, because I had
it's
this
more of
when
a
I was
mental
younger.
chaos. It's more of a mental chaos, definitely. Yeah, because I see now, like all the stuff I was doing was not chaos. Maybe it was not chaos. It was my mind that was chaotic. My mind had no structure. It couldn't understand the idea of structure. It was just, there was, I was, yeah, but so I can't remember where I was going to go, what the point I was going to go on to. But so what did you just repeat? What you were asking?
Oh, because I wanted to know about whether, because you were doing so many multiple things, is this the reason why you saw it as chaos? You felt it because you're saying it's mental, but
Yeah,
I'm wondering if doing all the multiple things contributed to you having this mindset that I am
maybe
very
maybe
chaotic.
yeah, maybe it did. I think personally, though, it was more of circumstantial from when I was a child, which I won't go into now. That's for a later date. But I think what I see now, from the, like say, the therapy and going through all these different stages in my life, is it was those inner struggles, back in when I was more of a child, when I was more of a kid and stuff, which then led me onto this path of like just trying to figure stuff out, because everything was a bit like all over the place, and like, so it's like it's the whole, just like this whole academic thing, as well as the other stuff that was kind of going on. So maybe, I think in a sense I was just fully just lost, and stuff. So that's what got me onto the journey of trying to, I guess, find myself without even realizing. That's why I did so many different things.
But when you said that you got to the second year and then you started doing more dancing stuff, did you feel like that was the first love of out of everything? Like,
Yeah,
I
no,
really like that one.
yeah, no, definitely. So this is where I think my next phase, kind of my evolutionary phase, kind of happens, because I started dancing, I started loving it, I kind of start doing my own kind of thing, and then I think in the end of second year, we do a dance piece with a choreographer called Jodie Belemmings, who at the time ran a contemporary, a junior associate, a junior contemporary company. So basically, for like, a graduate company, a graduate contemporary company. And we did a piece with him, and he liked my style of dance, and he liked the way I moved and all of this. So he asked me to come on as like a junior associate, with the company. So which meant while it was the summer of going from second year to third year, during that whole summer, I went to London. I went to London, and I just joined the company like every single week. Thursday, Friday, I would like join and like learn their choreography, learn their routines, and we did like a couple of shows, and it really grew me as an individual. It made me, I think, what Chrysalis, the company Chrysalis London, and what Jodie and all of those people made me see, was that I can be I guess I can be myself and unleash like what I want to the world, and I can be, and I think that company made me, it made me on a path of authenticity, whereas before I think I was constantly fighting to be someone, like, oh yeah, look, I'm this guy, like, oh, like this, look, because I am positive, look, I'm not negative, like, I think I was always trying to be something, and then, but when I was in Chrysalis, I could just be myself and just like, joke around, but then they would still like they would still like, so yeah, so I joined that, and then I was with them during my third year of college, sort of bodywork. And yeah, I kind of I was just doing my own thing in third year, really. I think just education in general for me was always just a challenge, just somewhat, someone telling me
Wait,
you have to do this.
No, but you're not saying education. You're saying the structure of the education system that we have.
The structure of it.
This, like,
Yeah.
go and read this book, memorize this shit, and then we do the exam.
We need a whole podcast just ranting about that.
Yeah, no, fully. No, I completely, no, no, you're right. I think it was the system of it, and I think what I've learned is I like having the freedom just to do what I like and just do what my brain, and I think I've always been like that. And I think, yeah, so when it comes to college and to school, saying like, you have to be here at this time and you have to do this and wear this, I'm like, I don't want to do that. Like, if you tell me to do that, like, I don't want to do that. Like, if you give me this option and this option and this option, you go, oh, cool, damn right, you can come here. Look, if you want to come here at this time, you want to wear this, I'm like, okay, sick. Like, this is like my kind of, okay, right.
I think we feel that way when we're younger because we want to exercise freedom, and it's hard to exercise freedom when you're put into a world that's already created a structure for you. You're trying to find out who you are while doing something that your parents are telling you, that the system is telling you, and when you go against it, they go, well, that's the way it is. You have to do this. And I think this is where some people tend to struggle. And some people actually fit in because if you naturally have that interest, oh, I want to be a doctor. Hey, no problem. System is there good for you. I want to be a lawyer. Hey, you got to adapt to the system. It's much easier to kind of build it when you have that interest. When you're creative, when you naturally lean towards dance, these are the kind of things that don't really pay a lot of money. They do, but then it's so saturated that, and the world is so vain, only specific people get to make loads of the money. Because that's just the way that it works. A painter, an artist, a writer, all these sort of things, people tend to struggle a little bit more. But the issue is, this is what I love to do. And you tell me I can't do it because I'm not making enough money? What else am I going to do?
This is the I had to look up the name of it, but did you guys ever know that poem, "The Road Not Taken" by Robert Frost? Two roads diverged in the wood, and I took the one less traveled, and that made all the difference. The first time I heard that, it was such a it just hit me quite hard because it's true. We get presented with those choices, and sometimes, especially in the creatives, I feel like, in the traditional school system, it's not given quite as much of a heavy thing once you leave school. They're like, okay, have fun. You can join it as an extracurricular. But as a career, it's risky, So when you make a conscious effort to actually pursue it, it's a difficult one, but it makes all the difference. Is the most important part of it for me, because it's to you it makes all the difference.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think whether it's subconscious or whatever, I think my whole life I've just thought why does it have to be that way? Yeah, I've always I think when I was a kid, even from when I was a kid, I always asked the question, but why? Why are we doing this? Why am I doing this? Why does it have to be this way? And that has followed on now up my whole entire life, up to this very point, to the point of building this community and trying to question that question. Sorry, I should have been more clear. To question the question of what you said earlier, Kelvin, about we all have to go on one path. I hear it all the time, even in the creative world and all this. And I think I think it's always been a battle within myself because I've done all these different things, and I think I've always been told, or even whether it's in the media or whether it's this or subconscious or whatever, like, you have to do your one thing, and you have to be, so you'll be a dancer, and cool, you will have to train that, and that's all you can do. You have to train every single day. You have to go to this kind of class. You have to go to this. You don't do anything else because that has to be your life. If that's not your life, then you're not a dancer, and you might as well work in McDonald's. And I think that mentality is I just never got it, and that's why I think I drew back a lot of the time from college, and I kind of skived, and I did this, and I did whatever I wanted, because I was like, I just don't see that. Like, I love dance today, and you know what? I have a passion for dance. I will dance, and I'll always dance, but today I don't feel like it. Today I want to go and explore this side of my creativity, or this side of my life, or this
Right.
side of my. And I've always done all these different things, and I think now what I see and what I realize is I'm staying true to myself by creating a space where I personally can utilize it and do my own thing, and allow other people to do their own thing. Because I don't see why, because I just think we're especially over the last, well, since I left college in 2016, and I started to really realize the freelance and self-employed world,
Yeah.
that we as creatives, whoever you are, look, you guys, like me, all of us as creatives are creative entrepreneurs, exactly like you were saying, Chris, because we all do so many different things. But going back onto this point, reiterating this point, we just get constantly told time and time again, you can't be successful unless you're doing 10 years of work in one specific field. But I've been doing 10 years of work in 5 different fields.
I want us to chat about.
Oh, he's gone again.
Oh no.
Oh.
This a bit more, maybe on
So mysterious.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's so mysterious. You start your conversation, Chris, and then it just goes here.
Just freezes.
And it freezes. Yeah.
What did you want to talk about in later episode?
No, just about the master of multiple traits rather than just one. I think that'd be a good discussion for us to have maybe when we do the debrief.
Yeah, fully.
Because there's a story. I bumped into someone outside a sort of networking event, and this lady had obviously been in it for a long time, and she was completely anti multiple sort of like being an expert in multiple things.
Yeah.
And I bet you she
is. I bet you she, I bet she does. I don't know who this woman was, or who this man, or whoever the hell it was. But let's say, yes, they only do their one field. Cool. You have to think creatively in so many different ways, a part of your life. Whether you're just doing acting and you're only solely doing acting, you still need to be good at, literature, at the creativity of writing and reading and understanding words, and there's so much more within the word of creativity. And I think my journey from the get-go of when I started, especially picked up a Diablo, and I realized, what, I can do all these multiple different things, and I could learn from what I do Diablo. I can learn with staff, and what I learn with staff and moving with Diablo, I can do with movement. And then and then when I started, I suppose I've not even gotten to my next part of my life, but so after, I should probably go back as well, so I get to my photography side of things, because I've not even touched on that.
Oh, don't worry, it's in the question log. Don't you worry.
Oh, is it? But yeah, I found it always, and everything to do with our lives interlinks, and there is some form of creativity within everything that we do.
I just want to clear up one thing, because I agree that doing multiple things can intertwine and sort of link, and you don't need to necessarily focus on one thing. You can have multiple things. Like, for example, someone can have a business and have multiple business side by side, and you generate income, etc., make money. It works. But the one key thing I don't want you guys to miss out on is focus. It's That's what determines whether or not. I'm speaking in terms of the system in the world that we live in. 'Cause let's not
Mm,
pretend as though we live in a world where everything's kumbaya, happy days. You got to make money. And you got to survive somehow. So, for
mm,
example, I have many talents. I love to dance, just like you. I do that constantly. I don't make money from it, but I work in admin. I work as an essay, and now I'm doing the YouTube.
mm,
There has to be focus, and like you have to get better at something. If you're gonna be
uh,
talented at four things, you find the time to get really good at those four things, or focus on one
mm,
if if you're only capable of focusing on one at the same time.
mm,
Because when it's diluted and you're dabbling in and out, and there's no focus or commitment, you will
mm,
fail.
I
mm.
agree to certain degrees of this, but this
Yeah,
is why I
yeah,
think we
yeah,
need to make this a
yeah,
whole
yeah,
other
yeah. This
section in
is
this one because we could
I
go
Mm-hmm.
on and
completely
on and on.
concur. I completely concur because that's what's yeah, because it interests me so much.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking, and now, and now I'm speaking to so many different types of creatives. I find it even more interesting, and I want to, and I think, yeah, I'm on a real mission to really understand it now and understand what the
Mm-hmm.
balance is and how we balance it all.
Yes.
Like how do we balance all of that and be able to feel comfortable with
Yes.
saying with being comfortable when asked the question,
Mm-hmm.
oh cool, so Kelvin, what do you do? And
Yes. Yes.
being comfortable with going, cool, I am this, so this is my main thing at the moment, but I actually
Yeah.
do this, this, and this, and this.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
I'm a creative entrepreneur.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like and I completely agree with you, Kelvin. I think you
Mm.
definitely have to commit. But I
Mm.
think with me, what I've done is I've always kind of I've flown with the flow of my life. So say for instance, I did the circus, which made me think about the musical theatre, the stagecoach side of things. I stuck with stagecoach until there was a new thought process that went into my mind. I was in stagecoach for 3 years until that came about, but I always went with my gut and my and what my energy was telling me at that time. So if they that someone said, cool, you should go to college. Let me okay, cool, actually, you know what, like I'm really feeling that side of
Mm.
things, I'm going to go that way. It's a different
Mm.
kind of direction. Or like even with the circus stuff, I'd be doing unicycle for a while and then all of a sudden someone would show me something else and I'd be like, oh, I really want to like just try it, and I'd try
Mm.
it and I'd get so much vibe within that, so I'd do it and then I would carry on doing that for a bit, but then I'd still go back to my old thing because I still had attachment towards that.
Yeah.
I would never lose it completely. It would always be there.
What
But
about what about photography?
I was gonna say that
oh,
was my next question. So, how in the world did we get to photography?
so so yeah, in my last year of bodywork, I well, unfortunately, my nan passed away, and we came into some inheritance. And I think my granddad always kind of, I think he had cameras, and I think he liked taking photos, he liked tech, and I kind of liked the idea of just having a really nice camera just to take photos in college and stuff like that. So I bought a camera, and then I was taking photos of shows, and again, my mind just went straight into this whole creative thing, and I loved it. So I just started doing it more and more, and people were like, Dan, you're actually quite good. Like maybe you should like start charging people and stuff. I was like, okay. So I started going on that journey, and then I left college, and I joined the contemporary company, Chrysalis, as a member. And I still had my camera. I was taking photos of the shows. I was taking photos of rehearsals. I was taking headshots for people. I was doing this and this and this. And I really loved the whole creative control of it. I loved being able to, again, like I was saying before, like be able to dance, but then also so work with a dancer or another individual and understand that state and be able to
Mm.
be like, oh cool, like, oh yeah, let me capture that. Oh, actually, when I danced and I did this move, this looks quite cool, let's try this.
Yes.
So I loved that. So then when I left the company in 2017, I think it's 2017, I wanted to see where my life adventure took me. I really wanted to kind of go like, right, is dance for me? Is dance my vibe? Is it my flow? I wanted to go in a natural sense, and I wanted to just follow my gut, my heart, my head, like all of it, and my energy. And I just started taking more photos. I started taking more photos. Modeling kind of came into the work, so I started modeling alongside taking photos, and I was just connecting all of it. But I was getting into a time where I was then, like you said, Kelvin, doing one or too many different things. It can form kind of confusion, and I was getting back into my old ways of doing things, of just doing loads of different things, and then just being like, oh, like just this chaotic mind again. So I went traveling in 2018. I went to Nepal for a month of. I traveled the Himalayas, did a yoga and meditation retreat.
Wow.
Yeah, I like met loads of Nepalese people, and I just traveled around. I just lived my life. I think they tell you, like, like we said, like they tell you time and time again, you have to constantly hustle and constantly do this and constantly do this. But I wanted just to see what happened if I just stopped everything and just kind of went on a different path and a different journey, and just went like, cool, like what happens if I do just go? And I
You
went,
said you
and I
went
had.
to Australia as well, right?
Yeah, so that was in 2019. I went to Australia and I lived there for about a year, or just under a year. Just again, I think after Nepal, what Nepal taught me was that you can go off and do whatever you want to do, and it's okay. Like, it's okay to stop. It's okay to not do what you've been doing for however long, and
I agree.
it's okay. It's okay to do anything you want.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah,
And
there's a
then so
fear.
yeah.
There's a fear that stops you, because
Mm,
you're when you're in that system, when you're in the system, and you're on this journey, and you got to make income, you got to pay bills, and all these sort of things. That's where the anxiety and everything comes in. But
mm,
like you just said, it is actually okay. Take the chance, go out and do something, because it is better to
fully.
know. Allow yourself to be free. Don't. And I think what we worry about is the mess up. We
Mm,
worry about the end result. What's going to happen? It's going to go bad. What have you? Okay, that could be an option. It could go bad. It could go wrong. But what's more important is
mm,
that you feel that freedom to exercise and what you want to do. Because later on
mm,
in life, I think this skill becomes is really needed. The skill to be able to say to yourself and anyone else, "This is what I think. And this is what I'm doing." When you're
yeah.
closed off, life becomes very problematic.
Mm,
Because now you're
yeah, yeah, yeah.
confused. You don't know where to go. You don't know what to do.
Mm,
And you feel this tension inside. And you feel that
mm,
tension because you know there's something you want to at least do. Fail or not.
mm,
You want to do it.
yeah, yeah.
And that's why you're right. You gotta do it. Just do it.
Mm.
Just do it, man.
And that's what goes from the point of like just like that thing inside you that tells you that you want to that you that's what you this is what you actually want to do. You do that, like you do that thing. If it means that you have to change something like that, you do it,
Mm,
because there's a certain energy within us, um, that I think is pulling us into the true direction that we that our soul and our everything about us is what needs to go.
mm,
And I think it's important to try and hone in on that, and trying as early as you can becoming aware of your reality, so that you can just go on that path of where it's telling you, whether even if it is telling you to go on like a really uncertain kind of weird path. I think you just go, you do it, and you
mm.
and yeah, I think it grows you.
So
But yeah, I'm sorry. It was
Was that
Chris.
you, Chris, or
really
have you
quickly on
paused?
no, really
Uh,
quickly with the no, really quickly with the photography side. So was that completely self-taught then on your side? You didn't
Yeah,
like do
yeah.
that in uni for anything? You just learned on
So
the job, basically?
I kind of just learned on the job. So when I was in college, when I was in
Oh,
bodywork in my third year, there was a show photographer, and I kind of attached myself to him, and I was taking photos of him. I was trying to learn from him, and then I just asked him. I said, "Yo, do you mind if I shadow you and I come to your studio and I learn a couple of the things, like some stuff that you do? I love your photography. I think you're so skilled." Um, and yeah, so I kind of tagged along with him. Was it Franklin and Bailey is the photography place, the
Mm-hmm.
photography studio. They're
Mm.
also, honestly, if whoever's listening to this or watching, check them out, Franklin and Bailey. They're
Shout
really
out to
talented.
Franklin and Bailey's.
And yeah, so I went to them and I learned some skills from them. And then I found when I left and I was in London, I found another photographer, and at the time I think they were called Distinct London. I don't think they're active now, but I went to them and then I learned some new skills from them about editing and stuff. And then I kind of just went on my own path and started just learning myself and just getting creative and yeah, just seeing where it took me. And then yeah, kind of I think so. Photography is where I stand now. Photography is kind of like, I guess, one of my main things.
Mm.
But what I love about my journey and what I love about this, like, have coming into this world of building this community is like, I can fully see the journey and how it's got me to this zone of trying to build a space for everyone just to unleash their full creative freedom, because
Mm.
I think I was just always constantly trying to find my inner freedom and my inner peace and my inner creativity, um and I just see myself now, like, I don't know, I just think it's my purpose. I
So,
think it's my purpose to allow other people to be free creatively and within. Yeah, I don't know, they're just
so would you say this is, because that was going to be my next question, would you say this is what inspired you to start Candler Creative?
Yeah, I think so. I think I had a flip. In fact, the one thing that flipped my decision to start this journey was last year I turned 27, and I had always, because I'd hung out with like a lot of older people back in the, like when I was like maybe 15, 16, as in like literally people like late 20s and their 30s, and I hung out with all these older people. I could see the difference between your 20s and your 30s.
Mm.
For the people that I interacted with, I saw your 20s was figuring shit out, what the
Mm.
hell's going on with life, and then your 30s you had shit sorted, or in some cases, and some
Mm-hmm.
people have shit sorted and whatever. But that was the journey I saw. So when I got to 27, something clicked in me, and I don't know what it was, but I was like, I've got 3 years until I'm 30, and I have no fucking idea what I'm doing.
Mm.
And I think that, and from that point, it took me to a reality of thinking like, okay, I've got to maybe follow the system, and I've got to do my one path, and I've got to think of something. What am I? Right? Am I a dancer? Am I a model? Am I a photographer? Am I an actor? Am I this? And I was like, right, Dan, what's your passion? Okay, photography. I can have more creative freedom in photography. Cool, that's it. Photography, cool.
Mm.
So from that point on, I started saying, right, photography is your go-to thing. But then it turned out, the more I did that, I started coming up with photography ideas. The more I came up with ideas for bringing people together and
Mm.
and utilizing my other creative skill sets within photography and
Mm. Mm.
creating like these editorial concepts. And then I started getting into NFTs, and I saw so much utility within NFTs. So I was like, wow, so I could get people together. I could create concepts about the world because I love philosophy and I love talking about reality and understanding
Yeah.
my reality and the
Mm-hmm.
reality around us. So I could get people together, we could come up with these editorial concepts, and then we could post them as NFTs. That sounds like a
Mm.
sick idea. Yo, I want to do
Mm.
that. So I started doing that, and then I met someone, and I was speaking to them about this idea, and then I met someone else, and I started to notice every time I was looking for something, ever since I switched the flip, and I went to more, and I was thinking more about this new idea of the journey I wanted to go on. Every time I was looking for someone or something, I got it. Like, it was really weird. Like, it was really
Mm.
quite peculiar. Like, and this is why I now am a true believer of the universe provides, because I have been one to witness that.
Mm.
Like,
Mm.
and
Thank you.
it's crazy when you can become aware of it, and that's why I now know that this is my passion. That this is my purpose,
Mm-hmm.
because there's something within me, and there's something in the thing that is pulling me in this direction, of meeting this person, doing this thing, creating this podcast,
Mm-hmm.
creating this and creating this. And it's slowly building, and I'm following that direction. And this is how it's led to this. I've just flown with, I've just gone with the flow of my reality.
You do strike me as an individual who needs a platform where you can speak your truth freely, 100%. And I think that you're right. That is your calling. You need to be in a space where you can do that, amongst with others, and another place where you not necessarily be heard, but you want to get what you have to say out to others because you always strike to you. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say it's interesting. And what I realize now is I think you're right, but I think for my whole entire life, because I've maybe inwards, I felt like I've just been shut down in certain situations, whether it's academically, whether it's my personality in certain situations. I feel like I've never been worthy enough to have a voice. And since going on this journey, this community journey, this is why I say this podcast is a journey for me. This community is a journey for me. And this is why I want to get other people on this journey, because I'm still learning. And this community is teaching me so much within a short space of time about myself, about people, about the world that we live, about my reality, and yeah, man, and that's why I'm so like I get so just driven and so obsessed. I guess obsessed because it's just teaching me a lot, and I'm seeing benefits from it now for other people. You know what I mean? And yeah, that's just what means the world to me now. Is by I'm learning a lot, but by me learning a lot, I'm also helping people in the process. If you see what I mean, and. Which is helping themselves, which is helping me, and it's just this constant like influx of like support, and that's why I love this whole idea of what community can really be.
We are all always teachers and students at the same time.
Exactly.
So as we're wrapping up, getting near to the end.
Yeah, guys, I'm so sorry. I now realize how hard it is to.
No. You're doing your job. My job is to make sure it doesn't go over.
Yeah, my guy.
So just to wrap it up a little bit, I just would like to know how have you found the journey? Like, where are you now? The journey obviously continues, but after everything that you've been through, have you found it easy? Was it a struggle? And where do you see? I mean, you pinpointed on a few things just now, which kind of highlights the question. But where do you see you going from now? How was the journey, and where do you see you going from now?
The journey was a struggle. I think it was actually harder mentally than I fully understand. I fully realize. I think, yeah, I think it was very hard, but it was also an amazing journey, an amazing free, celebratory journey. I think, but a hard one. But I think the journey from me now, from now is spreading that one initial Catholic message of positivity. From that, like you said, Kelvin, with that very moment, I think that one moment when that therapist said to me about the positivity, I think that's all I've ever wanted to do now. Is just is spread positivity and do what I want while doing it. You know what I mean? In any creative sense, in any positive sense, I want to have full creative and inner peace. Yeah, full creative freedom and inner peace. That's my journey now, and to spread that to other people. That's what I want to. Yeah, I think. Sorry,
Very
that was
nice.
really long-winded.
No. That was good. I liked every minute of it. I think you answered that perfectly how Dan Candler would have answered that. I wouldn't have that any other way. Yeah, definitely.
My guy.
Well, for everyone that has been tuning in tonight, and for all of you who will be tuning into the future, because you have no idea where this platform is going to go, because it's going to go places.
Crazy
So
places.
don't worry if you missed it tonight, because this will be on. I'll let Dan, even though it's about him, I'll let him tell you where you can find all the stuff. I'll let him close it, and then we'll shut up.
Guys, you can find us on all the streaming platforms, on all your podcasting streaming platforms. You can find us on Spotify, you can find us on Amazon, you can find us now on Google Podcasts, which I keep forgetting that we're on. And we will be on YouTube. It will be on YouTube now for all of existence. So yeah, tune in, and on next week. So we should probably say about next week. So for the last 4 episodes, we have been getting to know the podcast flames, and you're going to get to know us for however long now, and that this is in existence. But next week we're going to do a recap and a final not a final. I shouldn't say that actually, because people will think we're finishing. We're doing like a preview of I don't even know how to. What do I even say? It's
previously
detox wrap up.
Debrief. It's a debrief. It's a debrief of
not
the.
detox.
Not detox.
It is a detox.
We're all having a sauna. We're all gonna chill, get our nails done. Whole shebang.
We're just going to see how it goes, and we're going to do a debrief of the last kind of 5 episodes that we've done. We're going to let you guys know what we're going to be up to in the next coming episodes, and yeah, we'll start changing things up and forming this whole thing of whatever we're doing right now into an actual thing, I guess. And I'm excited. I'm really excited for this journey, and like I say every week, I really enjoy these Sundays. I look forward to these Sundays, speaking to you guys, speaking live, learning, growing, and yeah, so it's awesome. But cool, guys. Thank you so much, Kelvin. Thanks for being the awesome host that you are. You guys will see Kelvin again very soon as one of our hosts, as well as Balazar and Chris. And yeah, have a wonderful rest of your evening or day or afternoon or wherever you are in the world at whatever time. And peace out. Coolio.